It's DMO Speaks, the master motivator, bringing the MIJ, the motivational, inspirational juice from the ATL to you. It's going to be fire. Are you ready for DMO Speaks? It's your host, Derrick Moore. Welcome to DMO Speaks at Atlanta's incredible radio, WIGO 1570 AM. You can also listen live or watch live on WIGOAM.com. That's WIGOAM.com. Brought to you by Perry Moore Entertainment in association with Phoenix Entertainment Group. We are bringing the MIJ, the motivational, inspirational juice to the ATL with the master motivator, DMO Speaks. It's your Atlanta Falcons in Brotherhood spokesperson. In Brotherhood we trust. Here for the next hour to provide you with all things motivational and inspirational. Coming to you every Monday, 12 to 1 p.m. I look forward to having lunch each and every Monday with the ATL. I want to take a moment and thank all those who made it possible to bring this broadcast to the airwaves, especially WIGO 1570 AM, Atlanta's incredible radio. Program Director Jerome Lee, Producer Stephanie Perry Moore, Director of Photography Gary Booker, Station Manager Kevin Collins, but most importantly, you, our listeners. Thank you for tuning in. Every Monday, the Master of Motivation will cover 5 segments. The motivational moment. We set the tone for the DMO Speaks show. Extra, my very special guest in studio for an up-close and personal interview. Championship Chase. I'll have one of my longtime friends, Antonio London from the University of Alabama, and former NFL great on call to talk all things championship moves. Call y'all. The most important part of the show, as I get to speak to you, my very important audience, as you call in to discuss your thoughts on how the theme of the show affects your life. Get juiced. We'll recap the show with highlights guaranteed to get you juiced for your work week. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with DMO Speaks Motivational Moment. Welcome back to DMO Speaks. And now it's time for today's motivational moment. Energy meets synergy. The interaction of elements that when combined produce a total effect that is greater than the sum of the individual elements. It's one thing to have energy. It's another thing to have synergy. When you have both, look out. I said, when you have both, look out. Energy is the capacity to be active and to do work. It's a 20-year-old who never seemed to tire. And as often as you work him, the more energy he produces. Synergy, the combined effort of many elements, producing a greater effect. It's multiple 20-year-olds who never seem to tire. But the real key to synergy is to have the right elements working together to produce the effect you desire. To be completely honest, it's like H2O, 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen coming together to produce water. An even closer example is like Matt Ryan and Julio Jones coming together to form this unstoppable duo. Rise up, Atlanta, rise up. The right people coming together for any desired objective increases the chance of success. I mind you, conversely, the wrong people coming together for any desired objective decreases the chance of success. It's all about the right elements. Give me the right elements and I'll give you the right solutions. Give me the wrong elements and it'll produce the wrong solutions. It's all about energy. It's all about energy meeting synergy. It's one thing to be pumped and excited. It's something else to have a bunch of pumped and excited people who understand one another and they bring the synergy, and then there's a comprehensive dynamic that takes place that's unmatched anywhere. It's when energy meets synergy. It's all about the elements. You get them right and you get the gold. You get them wrong and you get nothing. I don't know about you, but I'm not in it for nothing. You, me, and everybody like us, we're in it to win it. But it takes energy and synergy. And when the two meet, look out. Coming up in 1 minute, our next segment, Extra, we have in studio Emmy Award-winning best-selling artist and poet and author Hank Stewart. I'm fired up to speak with Hank. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more DMO Speaks. Welcome back to DMO Speaks. You know, that last segment had me juiced like I've never been juiced before. Synergy and energy. Well, I tell you what, if that last segment was anything, I can tell you this, it's got some competition in this segment in what we call Extra. That's when I bring in my very special in-studio guest to join me on studio in the set, covering all things extra, a discussion on how choosing the right words and phrases and tones make for poetic power. Poetic power. I'm so privileged to have in studio the great Hank Stewart, who is here in studio joining me live on DMO Speaks. Welcome to DMO Speaks, Hank.
Look, I'm ready to go and suit up. I'm ready to go and suit up. Put me in, coach. Put me in, coach. Put me in.
You ready to play?
I'm ready to play, coach.
Oh my gosh. Well, I tell you what, we try to bring the juice and the energy here on DMO Speaks. We get excited. You know, what makes me most excited is to have my guests in studio with me to share their stories and their experiences, the things that they've attempted, and some they've accomplished, others they're still climbing for, and it gives me this opportunity to engage you in that way. Hey, tell us a little bit about you. Tell us your story a little bit.
Well, you know, I'm fortunate, Demo. First of all, let me back up and say thank you for allowing me to be your guest, because you could have had anybody sitting at this table, so I'm just honored to be here. I'm a poet, I'm a writer, I'm an author. But let me tell you how it all started. November the 7th, 1991, I'll never forget it as long as I live. I was a manager at UPS working third shift, and I came home about 8 o'clock that morning, pedaled around my house. I went to sleep, woke up around 5 o'clock, started getting ready to go back to work. I had a meeting at UPS around 8 o'clock. So I get up and I said, you know, let me turn the TV on. And I turned on the news, and the news was the news. Murder, carjacking, inflation, all the typical things you hear on the news. The weather came on, and it was talking about floods and tornadoes in the Midwest, and in Atlanta. It was horrible. Awful. I'm a sports junkie. That's why you done got me fired up. You know, 'cause I'm ready to go in and give him the game. And that was the day Magic Johnson played. He was HIV positive. Oh, wow. I had never in my life seen the news so bad. So I started doodling on the sheet of paper, and the very first poem God ever blessed me was a piece that's called Can You Hear Me? And it was real simple. It said, Lord, there's times when nothing is going right. Lord, there's times I can't find anything good to talk about. Lord, there's times when I cry. I wonder, did you hear me, Lord? There's times I've fallen. And I wonder, did you see me? Can you hear me, Lord? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Just give me a sign. And very softly he spoke to my heart. told me about Calvary, and this is what he said. He said, Hank, do you know they slapped me across my face because I heard your cry? They pierced me on my side because I heard your cry. They spit on me because I heard your cry, and I died on a Friday because I heard your cry, but I rose on a Sunday because I heard your cry. Not my child yet, but all simply because I heard your cry. First thing that I ever wrote. So Demo, I started writing every
Hank,
single
stop.
day.
Hank, you can't say that. I get fired up in Demo's speech. I get fired up on Demo's speech. You start talking about crosses and all that old kind of stuff.
That's it.
Woo! Man,
what happened.
That's what happened.
That's what happened. You know, Miles Monroe once said, the greatest tragedy in life is not death, but the greatest tragedy in life is be given life and not know why you're living.
Gosh.
I found out
Miles Monroe
said the greatest tragedy in life is not death, but the greatest tragedy in life is to be given life and not know why you're living. I'll give you one better than that. Mark Twain said the two greatest days in your life is the day you were born and the day you realize why you were born. Well, I'm gonna alter that a little bit. The three greatest days of your life is the day you were born, the day you were born again, and the day you realize why you were born again.
Oh, wow.
Once you plug into your purpose, man, the days change.
Hey, let me, you've got me just absolutely. I'm all messed up on my own show. Don't come on my show and mess me up,
Every
Hank.
single time.
You've done it to me again.
Put me in, coach.
Let me say this. Hank, it fascinates me, poetry and putting together words, combination of terms and words and phrases and all the sort. Is that some type of, what do you do to come up with those combinations that gives you that synergy that you need to be able to then come in and then display it and present it? Walk me through that just briefly.
You know what? No, that's a great question. Probably the best question I've ever had in my entire life. It has nothing to do with me. Again, I told you this is my purpose. This is my calling. So simple conversations with Demo might stem into poetry. Prime example, I had a conversation with a young lady by the name of Jemida Orange, and we were talking about Dr. C.T. Vivian, a civil rights legend. So we were talking about how Dr. Vivian is kind of long-winded, and she said, people talk about how his stories get real long, but he's 94 years old, so he deserves to be long-winded.
Sure he does.
So the SLC was down in Sanford, Florida when Trayvon Martin's killer was acquitted, George Zimmerman. And so they were down there protesting. And while they were there, they were going out to get something to eat with Dr. Vivian. And so while riding in the car, Jemida Orange and a young man by the name of John Taylor were talking about how beautiful the trees were in this riding. And finally they said that enough, and Dr. Vivian must have got irritated. He said, those trees don't look that good to me. That one phrase motivated me to write a whole piece called Those Trees. And the poem, and so I said that to say this, it could be a simple conversation, then God will reveal himself. It could be a commercial on TV. It could be working with our youth. God will reveal himself. So I can't take any credit for any of my work. I can't. This to have won an Emmy, a Pro Max or Gabby, to be a best-selling author, poet laureate, to perform from Rosa Parks to Michelle Obama. When you go back, that ain't got nothing to do with me.
Wow.
And I realize that.
Hank, I in this theme that we're speaking of this week on energy and synergy, the combination of having the energy to do work, the capacity to work, but then also the synergy, which is a collaboration of two or more things coming together and creating this continuity that's unique. I find it to be fascinating with someone in poetry that help me understand combinations of words and phrases and how you bridge all of that in your presentations to make it just make sense and come alive for folks like me who are listening and my audience that's listening. How does that synergy work in what you do with bringing words together? I love that.
It's a great question, because when I'm performing live, the energy from the audience and the synergy of the topic meets.
Wow.
And when those two meet, you have success. When the audience is feeling your words, when you've touched and pricked the souls and the hearts of people in the audience, you can feel it. You can feel it in their laughter. You can feel it in their tears. You can feel it in their energy and the way they stand up and applaud. Those are the things that continue to drive me. And so, again, this has nothing to do with Hank Stewart. This is all about the purpose of who I am and whose I am. And so once you collaborate that and you put a live audience in there and they're getting that, it brings the words to life. Words live.
They live, don't they? They
live.
come to life, don't they?
They
Come
live.
off the pages,
They
don't
come
they?
off the page.
And off your lips
And off the
when
lips and
you're
off the
delivering
stage
it.
and everything.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yes, they live.
Hey, do our audience a brilliant service. Give us just a few phrases of one of your favorite pieces. Take me out with that. You've got about 25 seconds. Give me something to give our audience, and then we'll transition. But because I could be here all day listening to the stories of Hank Stewart.
It doesn't matter how tall I am. What you need to know is that I stand for the right things. Now, I don't have a lot to say, but when I speak, you need to listen, because I'm sure it will make a difference. Now, don't worry about how much money I have in my pockets. You see, it's my contribution to this world. That's what puts me in the category as a millionaire. And I'm not trying to be arrogant, brothers and sisters. No, I'm not trying to be arrogant. But you see, even when I'm in the living room with my pride, the room is still full to capacity.
This is Hank Stewart, live with DMO Speaks. Hank, I want to thank you again for joining me and being a part of the show in studio with us today. I appreciate what you've done, what you're doing. I'm looking forward to even researching more on the great work that you do. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
We'll be right back with more DMO Speaks, and up next, my dearest friend Antonio London will be calling in to talk championship chase. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to DMO Speaks, and it's time for that moment of championship chase. All things championship, being a champion of your own life. I even suspect that everybody is looking to try and get a title one way or the other. And so we've created a segment called Championship Chase, where I get to have my dearest friend Antonio London on call from Birmingham, Alabama, talking all things championships. And if anybody knows what championships are all about, it's Antonio London. Antonio, welcome to DMO Speaks.
How's everything going that way, D. Moore?
Man, everything is fantastic. You know, I get fired up when I see this segment coming up, because you and I get to, chop it up a little bit, talk a little sports, talk a little life, and try and make it all make sense for our listeners. So I'm thrilled to have you on board today.
Well, man, it's good to be here. I'm actually sitting here reliving the old dream. I remember back then in 1992, I believe it was, the SEC championship game against, I think it may have been the Florida Gators or something like that. And I'm at Legion Field right now, D. Moore, watching the Birmingham Iron getting ready to kick it off.
That is absolutely fantastic. I know you're having a good time out there. I was thinking, in this segment, we've been discussing energy and synergy. Energy, something that requires someone to have the capacity to do work. And then synergy is taking two or more elements and bringing them together to get this exceptional experience out of those two elements. There are things that are working together. I got to thinking about when we played ball, Antonio, that it took both energy and synergy to be excellent in what we did on the collegiate and the professional level. I want to ask you to share with my listeners today, what it takes to, when you talk about energy and synergy, and when those two come together, you need the intensity and the energy that you've got to bring to be excellent, but you also need the combination of the right people working together. Because if you've got the wrong people working together, you don't have great synergy. You can have energy, but if you don't have the right people working together, team synergy is what we call it. If you don't have those people working together right, then you can't get the outcomes you're looking for. Give me a little bit from your experiences on how energy and synergy make sense.
Well, energy at the end of the day is what you do to get going. You got to put that fuel in your body to get it rocking and rolling. But my thought process is, if you got two big old locomotives and you put them on a railroad track and you got them facing each other, you got a whole lot of energy, right?
Yes.
But if you don't have the synergy, they won't go nowhere because they're both going in the same direction.
Wow.
And you got to figure out how to get that thing turned around. And you got to figure out how to keep the energy going, because without it, nothing moves. But now you got to get the energy, like you said, the synergy to get you to going in the same direction. And that's the key to all of it. I'm here at the Birmingham, Iron game. And the great thing to me, Derrick, about being here, this is about the chase. I mean, theoretically, we all have dreams of growing up, you know, you and me going into the NFL, things of that nature. Everybody has a dream, but, you know, right here is kind of where some of this stuff is starting. These guys right here want to be in the NFL one day. So it's good for me to come out here and watch them. I like to come out here and see them because right here they're chasing. They're chasing. They're playing where they're playing today, and they're doing what they're doing today, but they're chasing that day when they're going to be in the Super Bowl. They're chasing that day when they sign their NFL contract and they make it through those different preseason games, and they make it to that last cut, and they're part of that 53-man roster, and they're excited about it. And, man, I tell you what, for me in business, this gives me an edge. So when I go to work tomorrow morning, I'm going to be excited because I'm doing exactly what they're doing right now. I'm chasing.
Wow.
I'm chasing that championship, and I'm never going to let it go.
So you're telling me, as you're sitting there observing this game live there in Legion Field, you see two teams having the same ambition, obviously, to win the game, but you see energy out there, but you're also analytically, when you're sitting there watching a game, and I know you like the back of my hand, that you're not just watching the energy that they're playing with, you're watching, you know, the synergy you're looking for, you know, the techniques, who's coming off the ball right, you know, are they running the right routes, or is the quarterback in continuity with the receivers, is the offensive line working in unison? The synergy, tell me, is that what you're examining while you're watching the game?
Absolutely. That's exactly what I'm watching. I would say if there was NFL scouts here watching, that's what they're watching as well. We know maybe the level of competition here is not the level of competition in NFL, but you want to see what they're doing. Are they coming off the line right? Can they play with the teammates? Can they play within the confinements of the actual purpose of what they're out here for? Are they listening to the X's and O's that the coaches are doing for them? And then, man, I tell you, it's just exciting to be out here watching it and seeing it because they're chasing it, D-Moore. They're chasing it. They're one of those things that we used to do in the day, I guess you would say. But you know what? That chase never stops. You're always chasing the championship, no matter it's in the sports arena, whether it's in the business arena, whether it's in your marriage life, whether it's being a father to your kids, whether it's being a son to your father. Whatever it is, you're always chasing to be a champion.
Tonio, you know, I couldn't have said it better myself. I appreciate you calling in to DMO Speaks and giving us, again, a great segment with Championship Chase. We've got some great takeaways from your time. I look forward to having you back for our next episode of Championship Chase. Thank you, Antonio, for calling in today.
Thank you. Take care, man.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Welcome back to DMO Speaks. I am excited about this next segment. You know, this is the moment I get to take calls from my very important listeners who absolutely we could not do DMO Speaks without. I appreciate all of my audience and listeners of the DMO Speaks show. And so we are now in my favorite segment called Call Y'all. And I have on the line Jackie from Powder Springs. Jackie, welcome to the DMO Speak Show.
Hello, welcome. Thank you so much, and congratulations on your show. So proud of you.
Well, that means a lot, Jackie. Thank you so much. You know, it's amazing the work that goes into this type of project, but certainly it couldn't have been done without, you know, the people like you who inspire people like me every day to go do it. So I just appreciate your support and certainly do appreciate you calling in today.
Well, I tell you, it's great to call in. I have a question for you. I need your help.
Well, you give me the question. That's what we're here on DMO Speaks to do. So I'm all ears. Go for it, Jackie.
Okay. Just recently, my husband opened up his new business. He has a new insurance agency called Little Butts Agency under the Farmers Insurance name. And I am really struggling with how do I support him. I've been, you know, corporate America for many, many years, you know, definitely have not ever taken the entrepreneur route. And I just need just some advice on how do I support him? How much help do I give him? Like, he has an admin in his office, and a lot of times I come in and just want to take over and do all the admin work. Just some advice on what do I need to do as a wife to support my husband through this entrepreneurship.
Well, first of all, congratulations to him for this new venture of entrepreneur opportunity, and certainly, this country was built on the vision of entrepreneurs, etc. And I commend you and him for this new venture. Jackie, anytime we start something new that we've probably never experienced before, there's a little bit of anxiety that comes with it, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. But as a wife, you're operating, to be completely honest, out of natural responses. You want to know how you can help your husband any way, shape, and form that you possibly can. And so that natural instinct is going to come out of you regardless. But I would think that probably to have a conversation with him about your desire to help him. I can tell you, being a man myself, I certainly can tell you he wants your help. I think trying to find a soft spot to land is certainly critical to it, but it's important that the first step would be, well, how can I help you? How can I serve you? How can I use my strengths, my talents, to partner with yours to help take this entrepreneur project to another level? And that's just a nice, easy conversation. It's not you operating out of fear or concern that, the work won't happen, but you're just asking, how can you be a part of making him even better at what he does?
Oh, I like that. And, and I think that's for me, that's what I need, is I need that balance, because, right now, I don't know, when I should be like that partner that supports him from, an everyday activity standpoint, or that wife that just sits in the background. And of course, but my type A personality, I just want to jump in and help. But sometimes I think too that, he needs me as a wife and not just as a business partner in this adventure. So I just got to be able to create that right balance. But thank you so much. I do appreciate those thoughts.
Absolutely, Jackie. And I'm certain he'll understand that you're there to support him and help him with this new venture. And I'm certain you'll come up with the right solutions for it. But certainly do take the time just to have a conversation with him and talk through how you can be a part of helping him get to where he's trying to go.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you, and I'll be calling in again. Take my call.
Please do. We'll be looking for it. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And Chris, I have Chris from Decatur on the phone. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. This is Chris from Decatur.
Chris, welcome to DMO Speaks. I am thrilled that you called in today, and I'm excited that you made DMO Speaks a part of your day, and I'm here to chop it up with you and hear your question or comment or thought as it pertains to today's show. We've been talking about energy and synergy in our show today, and certainly I want to take whatever question you've got. I'm all ears.
Yes, my first question is, I am a follower of DMO Speaks, and I just love your voice and the things that you have done. Just wanted to know,
and Chris, let me say this. Thank you for that tremendous compliment. I don't deserve that, but I thank you for making that statement. It really makes a big difference.
Great. Well, I just, around synergy and energy, I just want to hear your thoughts on, how, in a team environment, I coach track, and I just want for ages from 6 to 18. So what are your thoughts on that age group and trying to get some synergy around those kids in that age group, and the energy to focus on growing them and accomplishing their goals?
Well, I can tell you the first thing with that age group, you won't have to worry a whole lot about energy. those guys, they bring the energy, bring the juice every single day that they wake up. But you certainly are working with young, impressionable minds, and I think it's very important for that age group to really understand. And even as coaches are attempting to keep their attention span is so short, and you're trying to do things that would be attractive enough to keep them fully engaged. But the importance there is the synergy happens when they realize, that on that level, it's all about us and not about me. So it's an us effort on that level where it is team focused, it's team oriented, and helping them understand that working together is of great value opposed to working alone. So if you could somehow teach them and paint pictures that are very clear and defined, that we work together as a unit and it's all about all of us and not about just one of us. If that can somehow be painted and you can communicate that effectively, even using exercises that demonstrate the importance of a team working together. If you're doing that, then I certainly think you can find the synergy you need to have an excellent experience.
I appreciate that, DMO. That really helps me to kind of get my mind around. But you brought up a good point, and that point is, for me, is synergy around being team. And I guess my question would be is that if you have one of those kids that's really just a standout kid, how do you get that one kid to understand synergy? Sometimes it's difficult to get that superstar, to understand synergy and how they are an important part of the energy for the team themselves without it being selfish.
That's an excellent question, particularly at that age. I certainly will tell you, keep that kid engaged in team constructs consistently. And that really hangs on the coach or the leader of that group, the parent of that group, that sort of, bringing about this effort to work together as a unit. I think it's very, very important because usually kids that have great talent, great ability, and they stand out, typically we allow them to really display that individuality and step out because even the players recognize that they have this unique talent. But it's going to be very important that the coach or the leader does not forget the importance of making that person engage with the team. Because if he doesn't, then you're going to lose the team, and this person is only going to play and really respond to personal achievements and individual accomplishment. You do not want to coach that. You want to coach team effort. That's the synergy we're talking about.
Most definitely. I appreciate that. That, sometimes that can be a challenge for a coach and how to manage that so that there's no kid that feels left out, and there's no child that feels like, that big word now is favoritism. Yeah. And you don't want to have favoritism when it comes to a team sport, and even a sport like track is definitely a team sport. So can you
well, I'll tell you, Chris, we're moving forward here, and I certainly want to thank you for calling in and bringing that question to the table, and I hope that helped here on the DMO Speak Show.
You certainly did help, and I've got some notes, and I'm ready to go forward with my season.
Thank you, Chris, for calling.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And on the phone, we have Krista from Birmingham, Alabama on the DMO Speak Show. Krista, welcome to the DMO Speak Show.
Thank you, Derrick, and just congratulations on this new show. You're going to be a hit.
Oh, I really appreciate your kindness. That makes me feel good. If nothing else, it helps my confidence, that's for sure. I want to welcome you, and certainly this is an opportunity where my audience get to call in and to talk all things DMO Speaks and our show. We've been doing a theme all day on synergy and energy and how the two come together to create this dynamo. But certainly I'm here to entertain any question you may have or comment you'd like to make. So I'm all ears to listen to Krista from Birmingham.
Well, Derrick, you and Stephanie have just been great encouragers to us. We see how y'all as a family and professionally have just led a family, y'all stretch so far and wide. So what you are doing is absolutely fantastic. And of course, you bring energy to about anything you touch, and Stephanie, your sidekick, is phenomenal. So I can only imagine where you're going with this and the great things that's going to come. It might be DMO Speaks. You have a lot to say, and people need to listen.
Oh my gosh, Krista, you made my day there. You're telling me, I bring the energy when it comes to my wife, Stephanie. So the energy is there. And then the combination of us working together is the synergy we need, that we've been able to raise our 3 children and work together collectively as a family, much like you and Patrick does there in Birmingham. So I totally get your understanding of energy and synergy. I appreciate that compliment. I really do.
Absolutely. Well, Patrick and I have, raising 5 children right now ourselves, and it does take a team effort. When he's high, sometimes I'm low. When I'm high, he's a little low, and we can bring each other up to exactly where we need to be. And that's just, living every day in our ministry. Patrick is a coach. I'm mostly at home mom. I do work when I need to as a nurse, as an RN downtown in Birmingham, and I love that. My patients, that's the thrill of me. I know it's my passion, and I'm fortunate to be able to get to do that too. But priority first is at home, and then with Patrick in high school, I really have more kids than actually just on home, and I have quite a few, about 90 actually as we speak. And there is no off season in our ministry and what we do, and it does take both of us. I know he's definitely the head coach on the field, but it does take both of us, just as you know, to make this thing work.
Well, Krista, I cannot thank you enough, because you've helped me just continue to realize that, great teams and great partners in life, they complement one another. And I think that's what we're getting at today with this synergy idea of how you complement each other so well. And you did a great job of communicating that. Krista, thank you so much for calling in to the DMO Speak Show. You made our show special today.
To talk to you, Derrick, and I can just imagine how this show is going to fly. This is great.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Derrick. Y'all take care.
Bye-bye. And we have on the phone Malachi from Inglewood, California. Malachi, thank you for calling in to the DMO Speak Show all the way from Hollywood. How are you, Malachi?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for having me. How are you doing today?
I can imagine what the weather's like in California. Being in Los Angeles, I've had a few opportunities to visit the West Coast, and now you're telling me it's some sunshine going on over there today in California, isn't it?
Oh, a lot of sunshine. You can't get enough of it over here.
Can't get enough of it. Oh my goodness. Well, Malachi, I'm thrilled that you chose to call all the way from Inglewood, California, to the DMO Speak Show. That says a lot about what my producers and folks on this side of the world does behind the scenes. So it's incredible that you're on the phone. Again, I'm excited that you're here. Malachi, what can we talk about today?
Yeah, well, like I said, thank you for having me. Well, I wanted to see if I could get advice from you. I'm going to actually be moving from Inglewood, California altogether. I'm going to be moving to Georgia, actually. And I'm a recent college graduate. I can't find any work here in the entertainment industry. And I feel like if I moved to Atlanta, maybe it would open more opportunities for me. But I'm scared of being in a new place and finding the right team to really build my vision and just be successful. So I wanted to see, what advice would you give, a 23-year-old who you feel like is finding their way and really wants to do the best that they can in an area that's foreign to them?
Well, Malachi, first and foremost, congratulations on all of your successes. And for whatever reason now you're telling me that your successes, or you're contemplating coming to the South. And let me say this, Malachi, when you come to the South, you come to a place of great hospitality. You're going to meet some of the most exceptional people you could possibly imagine. You can't even begin to figure and contemplate the kind of people that you're going to meet. We're the kind of people, Malachi, that will walk up to you, shake your hand, and say, hello, how you doing? Welcome to the ATL. Welcome to Georgia. That's the kind of group of people you're going to experience. So you're going to be shown a high level of hospitality when you come to the South. And then out of that, Malachi, relationships are going to form. Relationships are going to take off. And here's something else unique about our great town here in the city of Atlanta and really statewide is that Hollywood has come to the ATL. And so you're going to get the opportunity to be exposed to that industry, even so here in the great state of Georgia. So when it comes to who we are here and what we're about, I have great confidence that you're going to meet the kinds of people that's going to give you the comfort that you need. You know, they say in Georgia, in the South, you know, we have an expression called comfort food. It makes you feel good when you eat it, when you taste it, and when you sit down in your favorite restaurant. You know, the kind of people you're going to meet are the kinds of people that's going to make you feel comfortable. And I'm not just saying that just to tell you a bunch of stories, Malachi. I'm absolutely confident that you're going to meet those kinds of people.
Wow. That's. I think that's what I needed to hear. I think I'm going to pack up now, actually.
Malachi, you know, I don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit. Pack up, bring everything you got, and we've got room for you in the great state of Georgia. And do me a favor, Malachi, when you do that, come by the studio to visit DMO Speaks, and we'll have our favorite Southern hospitality waiting on you. How about that?
Well, as long as you got the comfort foods, you know I'm there too.
Thank you, Malachi, for calling DMO Speaks.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye-bye. Welcome back to DMO Speaks. I want to take this moment to thank you for tuning in to this week's show. It was an incredible experience. And as we get ready to leave today, don't forget to tune in next week, next Monday at 12 noon for more DMO Speaks. And I leave you with these closing awesome edits from my montage called Get Juiced. We'll see you next week on DMO Speaks. But the real key to synergy is to have the right elements working together to produce the effect you desire. The right people coming together for any desired objective increases the chance of success. Anytime we start something new that we've probably never experienced before, there's a little bit of anxiety that comes with it. That's okay. But you know, as a wife, you're operating out of natural responses. Hey, stop. Hey, you can't say that. I get fired up in DMO Speaks. I get fired up on DMO Speaks. You start talking about crosses and all that old kind of stuff. It's one thing to be pumped and excited. It's something else to have a bunch of pumped and excited people who understand one another, and they bring the synergy, and then there's a comprehensive dynamic that takes place that's unmatched anywhere. It's when energy meets synergy.